Hello and welcome to Unit 9, Milton Keynes. This is Speak Up MK. My name's Dom and this is Jamie.
Hey guys, hope you're all well. Sitting at home, probably watching this from lockdown.
Absolutely. Well, and that's, the reason why we're doing this. At Unit 9, we are predominantly a live music venue. And unfortunately, due to COVID-19, coronavirus, we've had to close our doors. And there's no real sign of when they will reopen. We've obviously got our ideas, but it's going to be much, much later this year. So with absolutely zero income coming into the business, rather than sit down and do nothing, Jamie and I have decided to really sort of buckle up our belts, so to speak, and come up with some great ideas. We've actually got more fire in our belly now than we've had for a long, long time. We're coming up with some great ideas for online content and developing online platforms. And this is one of them, which is really exciting, called Speak Up MK. Jamie, do you want to have a little chat about it?
One of the things we do at the venue as well, not just live music, we run courses, music courses for people. We work alongside the council, Thames Valley Police, and we run music courses for the vulnerable, for gang members, for people that are just a little bit lost and need a little bit of a kick in the right direction. So one of the things we wanted to do was speak to the community, because we're not able to do that in the venue right now, and find out how people are feeling, and maybe create some new initiatives for when this is all over as to how we can potentially help the people in our local community. So that is what Speak Up MK is all about. So we're very excited because today we've got a couple of young people on who have their talents in their own right, and they're joining us to speak with us about what's going on in the world right now, and also to tell us a little bit about what they've been up to and what they plan to do in the future. So I think we should probably get them onto the stream and see.
Let's invite them in, shall we? Yeah. So first up, we've got Teniola Ramos. Okay,
hey,
Tenny, how you doing? Cool.
I'm good.
And
how are you guys?
We're really good. We're going to wait a second. Hold your thoughts right there. We're going to invite Jack onto the stream. So Jak Smith.
Hi guys.
Hey, Jack, how you doing?
Not bad. How are you?
Jack, we had some technical problems, but we are back in business. So that is great news. Nice to see you, Jack.
You too. Thanks for having me.
No, yeah, it's our pleasure, mate. It's our pleasure. So we've just been telling everyone why we're doing this, and obviously you guys being our first guests on Speak Up MK, we're really, really excited. So you know what? Let's just jump straight in it with the first question to you both. So first one is, do you think teenagers are not listening to the stay home, stay safe message? And do you think people in general have taken it seriously? So Jack, first up you, mate. What do you think?
I personally think this is a tricky one when it comes to teenagers, because obviously most people are used to their freedom and their open world. Obviously being trapped in one compartment and can't see each other is quite tricky for some people. So for teenagers, I think they've struggled staying at home, and you can start seeing a little outbreak where they're finding little ways on how they can go see their friends and stuff. But I think a lot of people have seen a big impact on this, and that a lot of people have listened and realised that it's very important to stay at home.
Jack,
okay, that's interesting.
When this all started, how did you feel initially when you were told that you're not allowed to go out other than 1 hour a day? And did your opinion change maybe after a few days or a week when we started to see like a rise in deaths and things? So as a teenager, how did it make you feel at first, and then how have you changed your thoughts on it?
When this all started, originally, I thought it was just a load of rubbish. I was still planning on going to work, going out, blah, blah, blah. It was about 2 weeks into the whole lockdown situation that I had someone close to me that caught the virus themselves. And at that point, I realised, right, I need to start spreading a message to make sure that people my age aren't going out.
Okay.
Good. Okay, it's good.
Okay. Well, Jenny, same question to you.
Yeah, so I think it's like, from my perspective, like what I've seen, I think it's quite polarized. I think there are people taking it incredibly seriously, and they're like telling their friends to stay home, and they're telling everybody like, hey, let's fix this problem together. But then there are just some people that just absolutely aren't. Like you can see people's Snapchat stories of them hanging out with their friends. And it's kind of crazy because it's like a lot of them have the mentality that if we're young and we're healthy, like this isn't going to be a problem for us. And I think that it's two different sides of the spectrum, and no one's really falling in the middle. And like I even like walked around my neighborhood like on my daily exercise, and I've seen like young couples from like high school meeting up just because they miss each other. So I don't think it's being taken seriously and not enough that I've seen. But I think some people are doing a great job.
Do you think that the government should have done more to maybe specifically target young people? So, for instance, off the top of my head, using someone famous, someone that people look up to at that age, to maybe tell the importance of this in a different way. Do you think that the government speaking out? I mean, my opinion on the government as a whole is we should respect them and we should respect what they tell us, and we should obviously follow what they're saying because it's important. It's for safety. It's for saving lives. But as you get older, you learn more and you learn how to take certain information. Like Jack said initially, I probably agree with him. I thought, what a load of rubbish. Like, surely this isn't, who thought that the world was going to shut down? So do you think they could have maybe taken a different approach by using someone influential, maybe that's more influential to young people to maybe portray how important it is that we stay at home, or any other ideas?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that like we're all getting the same messages like through news outlets and stuff, but I think like a directly youth targeted message would make so much of a bigger impact. Like even if they just took, Idris Elba, for example, he got the virus and so many young people watch his movies and they see him on social media. Like even if they got him to put out a message or just something to tell young people like, hey, this is in your hands, because it really is. We're the ones that want to go out. We're the ones that want to be social. We're normally in school. We're normally around our friends on a daily basis. So we're the ones that are really having to take responsibility here. And I think that the government should be doing something to encourage that directly towards us rather than just sending out a general message all the time.
That's really interesting, Tenny. Jack, how do you think your life has changed? I know that's a really kind of bold and random, but kind of a generalized question, but how do you think it's changed over the past, 6 weeks?
My life has changed a lot. I've realised a lot about what life can give to you without having to exactly go out and find stuff. I've just going for a quick walk around the fields around the corner. It just shows to you how much you don't appreciate it in your normal day-to-day life. I think it opens a lot of eyes and shows to you that you can actually have a really nice and calm life without all the normal stress that you'd have in a day-to-day life.
It's really interesting, Jack. What about you, Tenny?
Life for me changed quite dramatically. I was studying in America actually I was getting my degree done, and in 3 days I had to book a ticket, fly home, put all my stuff into storage, and like now share a room with my sister after being in my own space at uni. So it was crazy. It was a lot that was going on at the same time. And the whole world was in a panic. Life now is just getting by day by day. We live in a small British house, so we're trying not to tread on each other's toes. But life is just snapped and become completely.
And can I just ask, how has it impacted on your university? What do you know what the outcome is now? Have they told you? Have you got to take your exam still, or do you have to repeat certain semesters, or what is going on?
So my university, we transferred all our classes online. They told us the week before we were all sent home during spring break, and they told us the week before that we would all be coming back. So everyone went home to their families for the holidays with expecting to come back. And then the school was like, surprise, online classes. You're not allowed back on campus unless you quarantine for 14 weeks. Yet you've got to get all of your stuff out by the end of term. So that was like a bit of a nightmare, but we've taken, the semester's ended now. We took all of our classes online. A lot of them are quite difficult. I know students that are taking classes at 4 a.m. because of the time difference.
Wow.
But it's like there's nothing they can really do to accommodate it. So it's definitely been a challenge. And some professors are obviously more understanding than others, but it's just all of us trying to work together to get the year complete.
Wow, Tenny, that's a real upheaval, really. But it does lead us quite nicely onto what the next question will be in terms of, Jack, if you want to go first, how do you think this COVID-19 pandemic will impact your life in the future? So both, I suppose, in a creative way, if we can bring some creativity into this, but into just in general, how do you think it will affect your life in the future?
Creativity, personally, I think it will show me that I can use natural resources around me to be able to bring content which will bring all sorts of different audiences. Overall in life, I think it will teach the younger generation that there's a lot more to life than all this violence and the kind of crime scene that they try to put their heads around, and that your life can be just snapped out like that and put into a lockdown. There's no point in messing about.
Pretty interesting. What about you, Tenny?
I think looking towards the future, one of the things that will like really make an impact is just enjoying being outdoors. I think a lot of the time, like, we can just spend so much time cooped up in our houses and not wanting to do anything until we're told, hey, you can't leave. And now it's like, I just want to be out there. I think that my life personally, I'm going to be outdoors a lot more once it's all over and once it's safe to. I think the future in other senses, I'm like, my first year of university was crazy because of this. I think there's going to be a lot of like remedying that and putting things into place to make sure it doesn't make a drastic effect on like my overall grades. Everyone I've spoken to, their grades this last term have fallen, which affects what they end up leaving university with. So I think the future is going to be spent working hard, trying to get those grades back up again after all of this is over. But yeah, just try and get back on track, I guess.
Can I just make a point on the going into outdoor spaces and things like that? I've done the same. I went and bought a bike, and I've been doing bike rides every day as part of my hourly exercise. I have found I've just found going outside and making that effort to go outside, I actually feel better in myself in general. Headspace, sleeping better at night, just a lot of knock-on effect. I've also seen when I'm out, families going out for a walk together, mum, dad, children together. And it's nice to see, because it reminds me of when I was young. We all used to play outside together, all of our friends. And you don't see that so much now. We're all at home playing Xbox, PlayStation, or we're hanging around someone's house. You think, well, you guys especially, are you going to go out and just chill on the streets as much, or, you know, do whatever you do socially? Or do you think you'll be more productive with that time with different people? Tony?
That's a good question. I think that being productive, like, definitely has like its benefits. Like I would just normally just chill. If my friends came over, we'd just chill at my house and we'd watch TV, or we'd watch a movie, or we'd play music or whatever. But I think like now, like whenever I go outside, it's for a purpose, you know, like it's like every minute is a minute where I could be doing something. And this has really helped me realize that, like, I don't want to waste any time after this. I really want to like buckle down and just make my time useful. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's good. And Jack, what about you with your, in a minute, we'll show people what you've all been up to, but what about you, Jack? How are you feeling about going out and just chilling? I know Jack outside of this, and I know Jack likes to go and chill with his mates and stuff, but he is also a very clever and productive guy when he puts his mind to it. So has this changed your opinion or your focus with regards to your creativity and also your socializing time?
Obviously, I know it's key that you have to see your friends. It's been a hard time throughout this whole situation, not seeing anyone. But I do think it's now important to keep in mind that you need to keep productive. You need to stay outside. You can't go back to normal and just lock yourself back inside your house. You need to get your head around that you've had this time to think on what to do. And now's your time to act on it.
Wicked, which I suppose really segues us really nicely into the creative aspect of, I suppose, what we're all trying to do here. So Jamie and I have been really creative. We haven't got a business, so we're creating online platforms and we're creating things that, you know, are taking our time, but we hope that will really assist people, you know, on delivering messages and having a platform to speak or promote their music on or whatever. So you guys, obviously being in lockdown, not being able to go out as much, you've been creating and been doing a lot more. So I know that Tenny is an incredible songwriter, singer-songwriter, and I've known Tenny for quite a while actually doing that. And Jamie, you've known Jack for a while creating.
Yeah, so I know Jack from when I was doing some work down the ice rink, and I know his mum as well. And Jack is a deceiving-looking person. He's so creative. We'll show you some stuff in a minute. He'll be able to tell you more about what he does. I don't know the technical terms, but in terms of, he's got a lot of interest. So, Jack, obviously you have a keen interest in photography. You like your graphic design. I don't know if you call it graphic design. Tell us a little bit about what the things are you do.
Some more time, I've been doing photography since 2015, just as like a kind of side piece. I've recently taken it in as a full-time job.
Amazing. And Jack, if you don't mind, sorry to stop you, is that as a result of what of COVID-19, or is that something you decided to do prior to all of this happening?
I had like the job that I'm doing now. It was kind of like a part-time thing, and then as the lockdown thing kind of came on, I was like, right, I'm gonna stop what I'm doing elsewhere and take this full time.
Amazing. Okay.
And then go on.
I was just going to say, so Jack has a keen interest in many things, and I'm going to put some pictures up while he's talking so you can see. So Jack loves his trainers, for one, and he also loves photography. So Jack, tell us a little bit about the different things, and I'll put a couple of pictures up and people can see how you've kind of incorporated your passions into one thing.
Yeah, so obviously with social media and stuff, I work a lot with trainer companies. So I thought this is a custom pair that you can see on the screen now. It's a custom pair that I got sent over to me. So I thought, why not make a quick product photo for them, help promote them whilst I can. So I went over this was at 5:30 in the morning. This is a field about 10 minutes around the corner from my house. I took a nice little walk by myself in the morning and got some nice photos. I thought, why not make the most of my time whilst I could? And it's just progressing my skills. Well,
Jack, before all this happened, did you used to take photos of like natural things like this?
No, never. Most of the time, my photos were usually of cars, sometimes a couple of times of people. But I don't ever really take photos of stuff like this. But it's definitely
I love that photo.
In the future.
It's great, Jack. Really, really creative. Like, you know, that you've been able to kind of find that space and be able to utilize it and in fact, try new things. Like, you know, you would never have done that in the past. So to actually come out of this with a whole new sort of passion and realization that there's more out there than, like you say, just photographing cars and stuff. It's amazing, don't you think?
Yeah, 100%.
So there was something else that he's done as well, which I think is really cool. So obviously, as you know, you can put filters on pictures and you can use apps to create images. But Jack does it a little bit differently. Jack takes a photo and he goes into, is it Photoshop you use?
Yeah.
Yeah. And he uses Photoshop to create these images bit by bit. Tell us a little bit how you do it. So this is a photo of Jack and this is what he's done to it.
So it's almost, I get the base layer. So this is a genuine photo that was taken of me. I import it into Photoshop and bit by bit, it takes me about 5 hours per photo. I will make the photo so it's almost re-illustrated and drawn up as detailed as possible.
So it's really cool. And what he decided to do, we had a little conversation about it. So many people wanted one done of themselves because it's different and you can't get an app to do this. He was charging £10 a photo and then half of that money was going to the NHS, which is a really cool idea as well, because not only was it helping him through a time where he's earning no money, but he's also helping the NHS. So I thought that was really cool.
Incredible, Jack. Yeah, really, really, really incredible stuff, Jack. And the dedication to be able to one. So, I mean, I'm a keen Photoshop user. I do enjoy it, but I don't have those sorts of skills. So did you just learn that or were you taught it? I mean, how did that work? Like,
I've done media and photography in school and college in the past, but I've got anything out of. So everything that you see in my photos is completely self-taught.
Wow. That's incredible, mate. Well, that's fantastic. So, all right, Tenny. So again, you've been, well, as long as I've known you, singer-songwriter, been performing, doing loads of gigs, and that's what you're studying at university, right?
Yeah, I'm a music production, we call it like a major because I study in America. So I'm a music production major. I've been songwriting since I was, I think, 11. Yeah,
wow.
That's what I love to do.
Cool. So this has given you probably new material to write about or to think about at least. Have you been writing anything whilst, you know, you've been in lockdown?
Yes. For the first time ever, I actually started writing in a physical book instead of just my notes app on my phone, which I've found kind of relaxing and kind of, I don't know, it's just been therapeutic, I guess. And
that's completely new, is it? Something that you've just started doing now? Okay.
It's very funny. Can I just say that you've done that? Because I've been doing the same.
Really? Nice. Yeah.
I don't know why.
It's different.
I haven't. Yeah, no, fair enough.
It's just different than having a physical copy of your thoughts, I guess. Yeah.
Excellent. So with that in mind, would you mind either playing something or performing something for us, maybe a verse or a chorus or something that you've written now?
Yes. I'll play you something I wrote kind of about lockdown, during lockdown. If I can remember the words to it as well. Let me bring it up. I've got the track on my...
While Tenny's doing that, Dom, shall we all leave the screen and leave Tenny to it?
Yeah, why not? Go on, Jay.
Okay. I can barely remember more than a silhouette of New York smile. Spent a weekend together, but now our distance spans 4,000 miles. But nothing beats cuddling up in your t-shirt. I'm thinking that this is what life's about. Take me back to that week. I wanna recall your sweet words and praying that this time love works out. I think I'm making myself fall in love again. The absence of you makes me make you perfect. I think I'm losing myself trying to fit you in, making it impossible for me to forget you. That's a little snippet of things I've been writing.
Oh, we're all back on.
We're all in different places.
Yeah.
I know, how weird. Tenny, that was absolutely beautiful. What, actually really lovely melodically and lyrically. Do you want to tell us a bit about it and how it all came about?
Yes, so it's a funny story actually. So the week before I realised I had to move everything and get back to the UK, I met someone I kind of liked over in America. And it was a bit of a nightmare really, because it's like, I don't know if you've ever been in a situation where you don't know everything about a person, so in your head you make them perfect in every single way. And because I haven't gotten the opportunity to know him more and to like talk to him more, I guess my head is filling in all the blank spaces and making this person perfect. And so like our distance spans 4,000 miles now. It's just kind of stressing me out. So I wrote a bit of music about it.
What was the line about absence? Can you just read? Do you remember? Have you got the words in front of you? Or
yes, I've got the words in here. So let me find it. So I think I'm making myself fall in love again. The absence of you makes me make you perfect. That was the line.
Nice. I had to get my head around it slightly. Now, the reason, I don't know why that line hit me, and it was more, I kind of related it to, obviously music's about relating, and that's about a person, but I kind of related it to friends and being able to go outside. Like the outside is like, I've reconnected, and I just really like that line. So that was really nice. Well done.
Thank you.
I've muted Jack's mic because I think Jack's got some visitors in the background. So when he's going to talk, I'll unmute him, and then we won't have all that background noise. Have you got any more questions on the paper, Dom?
I mean, that's really the format and how we envisage this going for the first time. But if there's anything that you guys would like to add, or anything that you kind of don't agree with that you guys have said, it would probably be a good time to say that.
Doesn't matter. Well,
you don't have to. You don't have to have had anything.
They both. It's been really good actually, and it's kind of better than I thought. It was really nice to hear different opinions and actually talk about it. People aren't really talking. People are talking on the phone or on WhatsApp and catching up, but having actually a serious conversation, I think it just highlights what's going on, and obviously seeing this is just two people that are being creative and using their time productively. So imagine, thousands of other kids or young people in Milton Keynes and around that are just smashing it and using this time productively is pretty incredible.
Absolutely. So on that note, we would just like to say thank you so much for doing what you're doing. Carry on doing it. And we'll see you soon.
Take care. Thank you very much, guys. See you later.
Cheers. Thanks a lot.
So Speak Up MK. We thought they were great. Tenny and Jack, great guests to have on, weren't they, Dom?
Absolutely. I thought they were. It's really interesting to have, and this is exactly why we did this, Jay, in terms of trying to find a youth voice, trying to find younger people that are affected by this situation, because we hear loads about older people, and that's of no disrespect. We are, well, I'm definitely older. You're a bit younger than me, but you know what I mean. We get all of that news in the press. We don't really hear about younger people, so that's why we did it, and that's why I found it really interesting, and why and how they have been so creative through this entire process.
And I think as well, like, that's why I brought up about maybe using someone more influential for young people. You know, the government are a standard platform, aren't they? They stand there, we're all seeing the same thing on the telly, but is it relating to people? Everybody's from a different background, different upbringing, different personal principles, you know. So it's good to hear their opinions. And, you know, we know from working at Unit 9 and doing all the things we do with young people on courses, they have a lot of good ideas. And I think actually, you know, it's good to hear their opinion on what's going on right now, because it may actually give us some knowledge that we haven't even thought about to help move forward.
Yeah. I couldn't agree more, mate. I think there's a lot to be said with listening to, you know, teenage and young voices. And, you know, I know that you and I are a strong advocate for it, and long may it continue.
100%. So I enjoyed myself. Hope everyone else did at home watching.
I really did. Yeah, it was wicked. Look, I mean, the realities are we want to do this, and we want to make this a long-lasting platform for, you know, for us to be able to do more of. So if you are interested in getting involved, obviously, you know, we're not going to speak about COVID-19 all the time, because let's hope that, you know, in the months to come, things will clear up. We'll be looser in lockdown, or hopefully not at all. And we will have something different to talk about. But if you want to get involved, you want to speak to us, if you want to show us what you're doing, how you're creating, and just being a creative person, then please do get involved and get in contact with us.
Yeah, that's right. You can either contact us through our Facebook page, or you can drop us an email, which is on the screen right now, info@unit9mk.com.
Wow, the magic. That was magic.
That was quick.
Cool. Look, it was really fun, and we can't wait to do it again. So thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Take care, everyone. See you later.